My name is Cynthia Whalen, and I'm an IT learning specialist. Thank you for taking the time to take this course. In this course, we're going to take a look at why you would want to use a table. We'll talk about the table benefits. We'll look at proper data structure, and then we'll go into creating a table using the sort feature as well as filtering. Now, I sent you the workbook so that you can follow along. And as well, we're going to go into some breakout rooms where you can work with your colleagues to find answers to questions. So if you haven't already, open that workbook. So why would you want to use a table? Well, many people use Excel to help them find answers to data-driven questions such as, what proportion of cases are going to our competitors? Which lawyer is charging the most time to a matter? Or perhaps you're in the IP practice and you're looking for what is the market share of a generic drug? So these are all questions that can be answered using Excel tables. The benefits to using an Excel table is that the headers are always visible when you scroll down. They're very easy to format, easy to sort, and you can filter the data so that you can look at just the data that you're interested in. And finally, you can turn on this great feature called total rows. Okay, but we have a saying in the computer world, garbage in, garbage out. So you first of all want to take a look at the structure of your table. So in this first case, this table is set up so that there's no empty rows or columns in here. So you want all your columns and your rows to be together. There are descriptive column headers at the top here. It's kind of hard to see on this slide, but I'll show you when we jump out. But there's descriptive column headers that say first and last and so forth. And the data is also broken out into columns to make it easy for it to sort. So you always want to think about what you want to get out of the data, and that's how you want to structure the data. So if the case is that you want to sort by last name, then you would either break the name up into two columns, or you could have the name in one column, but have the last name, comma, and then the first name. So again, think about what you want to get out of this data. Now, in this case, we've got some empty rows here, and that's going to cause problems because Excel looks at the data as being together or contiguous. So we'd look at that as being one table and this as being one table. I also have some empty rows in here, some empty columns, sorry, in here. And as well, the headings up at the top aren't very descriptive. Okay, so again, go ahead and open the file if you haven't already. And I'm using the Sunshine List. I actually got this data from the Ontario government, and I'm using it because I was looking for some data that wasn't sensitive data. This is data that anybody can get, and it's a list of anybody that makes more than $100,000 and works for the government. So you may know some people on this list. Okay, so first let's get started. So notice when I scroll down in here, I'm not seeing the headings any longer. So that can make it difficult to actually read the data. So let's turn this into a table, and we can do that very easily by pressing the Control and the T key on your keyboard. So T for table. And when you do that, because my data is contiguous or together, it selects the entire range. And it also asks, does my data have headers? Yes, it does. So I'm going to leave that check mark there. So if the check mark wasn't there and you had headers, just simply click on it and then click OK. Okay, so now that you've done that, first notice that you've got this formatting in here. So you've got the blue and the white in here. Also notice that when I scroll down, see how my headings take the place of the column letters. And so it makes it really easy for me to scroll down and still be able to see my headers at the top. If I don't like this blue, I could change the formatting by coming up to this Design tab. So notice it says Table Tools Design, and that was added. It's what's called a contextual ribbon. And in here, I can choose these different design types for my table. I kind of like the blue, but you can also click on this More button right here. When I click on the More button, I get more options in here. Again, I'm going to go back to this blue, I think. And scroll up here. Now, here's a nice tip. If I quickly want to get to the very top of my table, I can press Control Home. And when I press Control Home, that takes me to A1. If I wanted to go down to the very bottom corner, I could press Control End, and that takes me to the bottom. And if I wanted to go to the bottom of a row of data, of a column of data, if I press the Control key and the down arrow, that takes me to the last cell that has data in it in that column. And of course, Control up arrow would take you up to the first cell. These are some of the tips that I sent out earlier, but I just thought I'd quickly go over them. Now, one of the other advantages of tables that I spoke about was being able to sort. So in here, if I wanted to sort by salary and I wanted to see the highest salary, then I can come over here to where it says salary. I can click on the down arrow and I've got my sorts right in here. It used to say ascending or descending, but people got confused. So now it says largest to smallest or smallest to largest. So I'm going to choose largest to smallest. And now I'm seeing those people that make the most at the top here. Now, I can filter the data as well. So as I was saying before, maybe I'm just interested in a subsection of data. So for example, I'm going to come over here to where it says employer, and I'm going to click on the down arrow. And see how it's showing all the employers in the list? Well, maybe I'm just interested in seeing one of these employers. So I'm going to take off the select all, and I can scroll through, and maybe I'm just interested in seeing let's see, we'll choose somebody here, this Algonquin and Lakeshore. So we'll just click on the little check mark. I'll click OK. If I wanted to see multiple, I could click on multiple, and then I can click OK. And it's just showing me the data for that subsection. And I did that very easily with that filtering feature. Now, you can tell the data is filtered because you can see the row numbers are blue. And as well, you can see a little funnel here, and the funnel is another indication. Finally, if you look at the very bottom left corner, you can also see that it's being filtered, and it shows you how many records have been found. So it shows you that there's been 11 records found. Now I could continue to filter. So let's say I wanted to, actually I'll take this one off. So I'm going to click on the down arrow for employer. And in here I can simply click on clear filter. So I can filter by text, and I can also go in. So perhaps I'm only looking for those people who have lawyer within their job title. So I'm going to click on the down arrow for job title. And this is where you can click right here where it says search and simply type in lawyer. So you don't have to scroll through. You can actually just type what you're looking for. And this is nice because it's looking for anybody who has that anywhere within their job title. So I don't have to go and look and click on each one of those. I can find that very, very easily. I can also filter by number here. So let's say I just wanted to see those people that make more than a certain amount. So notice you've got the check boxes here, but as well, you've got something that says number filters. And I can click on number filters in here. And then that's where I can go in and I can say, I want to see people that make greater than, and I can put a number in here. So let's say I only want to see people that make greater than 250,000. And I just click OK. Oops. I think I might have had too many zeros in there, or maybe there just wasn't anybody. Let's do select all. Oh, right, because it's sorted there, so you can see very quickly. So let's say I only want to see those people that make greater than 150,000. So in here, I'll put 150,000. Then I'll click OK. You can see it's really easy to filter your data. Now, the other benefit that I spoke about was the total row. So again, I'm going to come up to this design ribbon that I spoke about earlier, and I'm just going to move over to where it says total row. And that's where I can click here on total row. And notice it's giving me this total row at the bottom here. So now I want to just see the salaries for those people. I want to see the total salary. I can click on the down arrow and I can choose sum. Or maybe it'd be more interesting if I get the average. So I'm going to get the average salary in here. And this is showing me the count. So it's showing me how many people, 17. So it's really nice. You can come in and you can use these different functions that are in here with this table format. So I hope you've learned something from this course, and we will be talking about more. I'm going to get you to go into a breakout room now, and I want you to find me the person who makes anybody. I want you to find me how many people make more than $1 million in this sunshine list. So I'll just give you a few minutes to go, and I'll put some more questions in the breakout rooms as well. I'm going to add more to this course, but that was just my prototype. Thank you.